Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Snowfall Season 5, Episode 6. We have made it through both parts now of the Iliad, and this was a heck of an ending. Like, really, seriously, I did not see this coming. Granted, I don't know how I was supposed to see that coming, but it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone saw this coming, but we had a lot of people in our comments saying that it was Kane, and I was just like, how did you guys figure it out? Because it really did feel like a very deep snowfall pull.
It was such a deep pull, but it was such a good pull and such I loved this episode. Like, this is really one of the most intense, dramatic, interesting episodes, and we still got the freaking tiger who just, by the way, tiger totally stole every scene the tiger was in
Yeah.
in this. All right, well, before we go further here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I think it's pretty clear at this point everything with Snowfall was heating up. We are here every week to break it down, to chat with you guys about it, and we don't want you to miss any of that.
And we apologize for our review being a little late. Usually it's up on Wednesday nights
Yeah.
after the episode. But for those of you who don't know, our dog Coco Chanel Vanderwolf ended up going in for surgery yesterday. She was supposed to go in next Wednesday. It got bumped. She was able to go in yesterday. She had a little tumor removed on her eye and a little cyst removed from her back. She's doing okay.
Yeah.
But, yesterday was
Yeah.
we were with the dog, so just to let you guys know what was going on. So if we also seem like maybe we're just a little bit bagged, it's
Yeah.
because she had kind of a tough night. So we've
Yeah.
been up all night, but we are still here for you as well.
Yeah, we could not wait on the idea of talking about the arrival of Kane to this show because this actor Devon Nixon, and I'm not that familiar with him before Snowfall, but this first scene is about as good of a first scene as I think I have seen from just about any character on any cable show I can think of in recent memory. Like, this Kane character is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's excellent, and he's very forthcoming with what is going to be coming for Franklin. Like, it seems like he's been out of jail for a few months now, and Franklin didn't know, so he's been able to be out for a little while, keep a pretty low profile, even though he's kind of like, I'm not hiding. I'm right here. You could have found me at any point, but you're so deep into what you're doing that you didn't notice what I'm doing. Perfect for me. I was able to do what I needed to do, which was try to get the hits out on you. Didn't mean to come after your mom. My apologies.
Yeah,
But next time I'm going to get it right. This isn't done.
it's it's such a smart reveal because when I was trying to like theorize about all of this, the biggest thing I kept needing was a really good, strong motive. And it was fun to like, pull Mel's name out of that. But it's like, okay, is she really gonna be doing that? But here we've got someone who, this is Kevin's brother. This is somebody who has an intense personal motive for wanting to do this. This is
Yeah.
somebody who has known Franklin and Leon for a very long time, who has seen what the community has turned into. He is kind of coming at this from all of these sort of different fronts. And this is someone who I think also just believes that he is so justified in doing what he is doing that I don't know if there's any way you're going to convince Kane out of this.
No, and I mean, grief reaches deep
Yeah.
for people and it hits in different ways for everyone. So, I mean, it's hard to not see where Kane is coming from. And I say that as someone, of course, that loves Franklin and loves his family and whatever, but having the grief of losing your brother, I mean, that's something that doesn't go away.
This is not a great episode for Franklin. Like, the good news, obviously, is that the tiger does not eat him, so he survives all of that. But then he finds out about Kane, and then also
Yeah.
everything that's going on there. He doesn't have his relationship in the same way.
But before we get off of Kane, we still
Okay.
also need to talk about Peaches because throughout this whole episode, everyone was really starting to circle around Peaches as the person who was behind these hits. He is missing. All of Franklin's money is missing. Not very many people knew about it. Peaches was one of those people. He is still unable to be found. And that was one of the questions that Franklin put out to Kane, kind of being like, how long did it take to get Peaches to flip on me, kind of thing. And Kane's reaction, which is he gave nothing, but he kind of gave something with that kind of like smile laugh where he just looked away. Peaches is not a willing participant. I just don't think he is. The fact
No.
that he's just disappeared like this, I really think that, Peaches, if he ended up telling where the Sash House was, which it seems like he probably did, he didn't do it willingly.
No, I still think everything we said last week is still true. I think Peaches is sick. I think Peaches needs either money or resources or something. And yeah, Peaches was probably made to do this against his will and in the promise and the hopes of getting something in return. But I think because Peaches now has this sort of culpability in the midst of all of this, I don't think Peaches is going to be too intent on showing himself back anytime soon if he can help it, because Peaches knows what happens to people who end up going against Franklin.
Yeah, for me, I actually don't think that Kane was able to offer him anything that Franklin couldn't offer him. His relationship with Franklin and the family, like we saw Jerome, how hurt he was at the idea that Peaches could ever do something like this. And I believe Jerome.
Yeah.
I think that Peaches did not do this willingly. I don't think that he was offered money. I don't think there's anything that Kane could have offered him that if he just went to Franklin was like, listen, I am sick. I need money. This is going to cost a lot of money. I need help. Franklin would have given him anything. Jerome would have given him anything. Like, he is so loyal to them. That's why I'm kind of like, is Peaches dead?
I want to believe that Peaches is still alive and out there. I just think the question that I get kind of confused about is that very thing that you just mentioned, that Franklin would do almost anything for him. So why wouldn't he go to Franklin here unless, this is a situation where, Kane finds him and Kane puts his life in danger unless he does like this, that, or the other thing. But even if something like that happens, what's stopping Peaches then from going back to Franklin or to Leon and saying, okay, this is what happened. I had to do this. Maybe he's still afraid that they will not really understand or retaliate or just be upset about it anyway.
Or he's being held somewhere, or he's dead, or he's next to death. I don't know. I'm worried for Peaches. But as you were talking about with V, that story was very, very interesting. So, with everything that was going on with Franklin and sort of this very real realization of how close this is going to get to her and their child, she did decide to end up leaving him. And that was after a very important talk, I think, with CISSY, where CISSY really said, like, you need to really open your eyes. This is not just something that's at Franklin's doorstep. You are with my son. It is at your doorstep. It is at your baby's doorstep. And then she had also revealed that this, like, whole backstory of V, where her mom was like a con woman and she was part of a lot of that and she knows how to work people over. There's long been this feeling in the community that V is not exactly who she says she is. And I mean, we are starting to learn that, yeah, that's true to some degree. Is she working over Franklin? I don't know. Is she working with Kane on this? I don't know. Like, it's all very curious now because that's a very specific type of story, that her mother was a con woman and basically taught her everything she knew and she was part of all these cons. It was like, whoa.
Okay, I'm gonna put out here my theory on all of this, and because there's nothing we love more here than snowfall theories. Let's just see if this actually works. No, okay. I think I'm going to go with the understanding that, all right, I don't think V is selling out Franklin to Kane. I'm going to assume that there is love and there is a genuine nature to all of this, and because V had this backstory of growing up with a con woman and being sort of around either criminal activity or criminal adjacent activity. I think she was more willing to accept what Franklin was in because she's got experience in that. But I think there's also a pretty clear difference between things her mom was probably doing and the things that Franklin is doing, where, she's literally on death's door here pretty much every single day. I think Sissy was sort of the wake up call. She started to realize, okay, oh no, this is a little bit too much. But here is the problem here still, V. Do you really think that just because you're not with Franklin anymore romantically, that this is really actually fully going to be it? I don't.
No, you're carrying his kid.
Yeah.
And Franklin has told enough people at this point that people are going to be able to find out and figure it out pretty quickly. I mean, I feel like she's probably safer with him than without him at this point. And
Yeah.
I know that seems kind of ridiculous because, there's a very big threat against him, but just kind of going on her own and hiding out and doing whatever, like she's carrying his kid. So it doesn't really make any sense that she's decided to go about it this way. And also, it's kind of crappy just to see this scene where finally they get to see their baby
Yeah.
and everything that's going on, for her to say, I'm only going to see you at work. No, you don't get to decide that. Like, Franklin is the father. He gets to be part of this.
Yeah, and it's not really as though V was unaware of, the life that Franklin already led. Like there was already some clarity, and I know he wasn't upfront about every single thing in the world with her, but they have had conversations about all of this. And it's like you just said, if they were together, I don't know if he could guarantee protection for her because, anything can happen in the world, but he can have people around her if he knows where she is, what she's doing. There is a resourcefulness to that. I know that probably sucks for someone like V to just have people watching and monitoring her every move, but being monitored or being dead, which one is the more preferable choice here?
No, especially since she has had this background with her mom and she's had this time with Franklin and Franklin's family, that she thinks that just going on her own, like what happens if Kane just shows up, that she's gonna be like, oh, don't worry, I broke up with him. That's gonna be like, oh, okay, no problem, you broke up with him. Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt him anymore if I hurt you or his kid. Then I'll just be on my way.
Yeah.
It's weird.
All right, we're 13 minutes in, so it's time to talk about all of the great Tiger related moments in this episode. First and foremost, what Gustavo and Franklin did in order to escape the Tiger Den in the first place. Fantastic. I loved every second of it. I love Franklin also being like, okay, all right, I'll talk. This is where we need to go. And then Franklin then luring more people. I'm all about this. I know some people thought the Tiger was a little bit too over the top and a little bit too weird for the world of this show, but I really don't. I just thought it was interesting and kind of terrifying.
With these two episodes, the thing that I can see that why people think that the Tiger's a little bit over the top, but at the same time, these two characters needed to go through something together
Yeah.
to get them to where they are now. Like, they've always been working together, but not really trusting each other, not really getting to know each other. These two episodes have had them bonding in a way that's going to have them bonded for life. This is like such a weird, crazy, stressful, facing death multiple times experience, that these two men are bonded in a way that they will never be bonded with anyone else because of this. And even when Franklin lures these guys to the Tiger and all that, there was a moment where Gustavo was kind of like, I don't think Franklin's ever coming back for me. But
Yeah.
because of what's been happening with them, he does. He brings Jerome, he brings Leon, he comes back for him. Gustavo even tells Franklin, I didn't know if you were ever coming back for me. No, we're at a different spot in our relationship now. Even to the point where Franklin says, listen, I know that you and Teddy were spying on me.
Yeah.
I know you guys were in on this together and that you were doing this. And as he was saying it, you could see Gustavo's face just dropping like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Teddy's spying on, wait a second. Oh no. And then you could see it on Franklin's face too, where he was kind of like, oh, you didn't know. Okay, so the bond has grown even closer. These two know that Teddy's up to something, and neither of them have been brought in on it.
It is so important because Franklin doesn't really have a lot of ends on like the Teddy side of things.
No.
At all. Like Gustavo.
And clearly neither does Gustavo.
No.
He doesn't know what's going on either.
And like Gustavo can at least be, a somewhat adjacent to Teddy in where, maybe Gustavo and Teddy are off somewhere. And yes, it's very clear that Gustavo didn't know about this, but maybe he finds out something else from Teddy that he's willing to go back and tell Franklin because of all this that Franklin would never know otherwise. Like, we're being set for some sort of long-term showdown, I believe, with Franklin and Teddy. I don't know if it's happening this season or not, but these moments where Franklin can really, showcase his humanity, showcase how much he cares for Gustavo. Like, Gustavo, he is a loyal guy. He's not going to forget something like this.
No, he's not. And Franklin's not going to forget either. I think that I actually wish that these two episodes happened last season because it's taken a very long time for Franklin and Gustavo to kind of get anywhere together or to have a little bit of something, or just mostly for Gustavo to have something where he's really connecting with somebody. Like, it's always sort of felt like he's just this lone wolf doing his own thing, and that's just the way it is. And I think that this really changes the dynamics of the three of them.
Now, I know that Franklin and Gustavo spent a long time in these past couple of episodes trapped with the tiger, but we have to remember as well, Teddy has spent the past 2 episodes trapped with Parissa, and from what we have seen from Parissa so far, I'm not sure this is that much better, because she's out there with her whole, I've enjoyed this more than I've enjoyed anything in years.
Yeah, she is, what a character, man. She is a really, really fascinating character. We really don't know very much about her, but she is strange.
Well, all we know is that she wants money. She seems to have at least somewhat of an understanding now of the sort of business that Teddy is in. She and Teddy have a history, and she is, shall we say, enjoying a lot of this process, and I don't know what Teddy is going to do with this situation because he's not enjoying this one bit.
No, and he's just in such a tough spot. She knows about the drugs. He doesn't know what she's done with that at this point. He's being, he's in pain. She's giving him drugs and sort of keeping him, sedated. It's a very weird, tough situation. I'm not really sure if that's worse or the tiger situation was worse, because at least Gustavo and Franklin got out of that.
Yeah, like they had each other, and now that they're out, they have, the community. You've got people like Leon, Jerome.
Yep.
Who's Teddy got? Like, I know Gustavo's like a part. Yeah, he's got Parissa.
He does not have Gustavo. Franklin and Gustavo have each other now.
Okay, so Teddy, congratulations. You have nobody.
Yeah, Teddy screwed it.
Yeah, now I don't know who's going to really... I mean, they need Teddy, I guess, for the sake of the operation, but it's sort of like, I don't think anyone is going to feel sorry for Teddy when they eventually find a way to extract him. I don't even know how they're going to find him.
No, when Teddy ends up dying in the series finale, I think it's going to be pretty, satisfying for everybody. I don't know that there's a lot of Teddy fans out there. Sorry if you're a Teddy fan.
That is the funny thing about all this, because I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of people being like, oh man, someone needs to rescue Teddy for Parissa, immediately.
I haven't thought that one time. I'm just like, you get what you get, Teddy.
What if the rest of the season for Teddy is him just lying there in that bed while Parissa just continues to, I don't know, do stuff that I don't want to think about?
Oops. Oh, well. Teddy, you're not the greatest guy.
No, you're really not. But
Karma's coming back.
what a great couple of episodes here.
Mhm.
I think we're set up in an awesome way for whatever's coming up next. But hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss anything else. Follow us on Instagram. I'm at InJustTV as well. We'll see you here next time.